almost screwed up this pretty expensive client job. Let me show you what I did to avoid that. Oh, you dodo. Oh yeah, that'll do. Hey y'all, my name is Nick and welcome back to State of Woods Co. Have you guys ever screwed up a client build? Well, knock on wood, I haven't done it yet, but I almost screwed up this pretty expensive client job. So the design for this table is a trestle style table. It's bar height 5 foot by 4 foot. My original intention was to do a through mortise and tenon leg support where the apron would run all the way through and extend out just like this one. Now, I got to thinking of something. Now the table being a bar height at 36 inches tall and just over 4 foot wide on the top, I was a little concerned about the stability and how top heavy this table was going to be. With the base being right around 35.5 inches, that was going to leave me with plenty of stability on the bottom. But there was a problem, or at least in my head there was a problem.
I saw that going differently in my mind.
Now obviously this table-based design would have worked and it would have been great, but what it would have done was it would have locked in the entire base unit as one piece on the day of delivery. Now let's just say that all their doors in their homes are 32 inches, which happens a lot. Or what if there's a lot of furniture in the way or refrigerators that I have to get through? And you may have a long skinny hallway that doesn't allow you to turn your piece to the side to enter the home. The one thing that I realized with this table too is when you go to shimmy it into a house, a long table is going to be a lot easier to get into than a short table because you can shimmy it around. Well, this is bar height and it's only 5 foot wide. So at its max limit, the base is only 47 inches wide. So that doesn't give me a lot of room to shimmy it around and get into the tight spots.
Pivot! 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 Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Now, if you think people move massive couches and refrigerators in all the time and it's never been a problem. Well, I don't want to be that small, slim amount that's like, hey, we got to take that bay window out to get your kitchen table in. That's not going to be me. So I went with a little bit of a different design. Now, I didn't have to really rebuild anything. I just wasn't able to use these leg supports that I had. But what I did was I saved the apron and I cut it apart. So now there is a false front that's been put on here by Domino's. And then I'm going to use hardware that I picked up from Rockler to be able to put this apron onto these bases, and you'd never know the difference. So I picked up this Striplox Hang It and Join It Pro 23 kit from Rockler. So they're simply just two pieces of plastic that have like a male and female connector on each end. You simply just put them together and it slides down and it basically makes a tight joint. So we're going to mount this on the back side of our aprons. Now we're going to mount the female receiver of this hardware onto our bases. The hardware is going to be inset down into the base, so we're going to have to route out that area. We want to make sure to route out the area large enough for the female and male to be able to slide into each other and then shift down into place. Now alignment is very important for this, so you want to make sure that you measure and check your measurements several times. It's important to get these aprons to line up perfectly with the false tenon that's on the outside of the base. To adjust for the height, it's as simple as putting the male and female connector together and making sure that your bit is just at that height. I simply just used a palm router and a down cut bit to give me a good clean cut on the top surface. Now it's just a matter of routing out that area and keeping a nice clean edge all the way around. It's important not to go past your lines on your width because you don't want to have that rare chance of being able to see anything behind that tenon. The tenon should completely cover this entire hole, but if you go too far outside your line, you may see that router mark. Now you can actually visualize the space above the female connector that allows that male to slide into place. So make sure you place that female connector towards the floor of your base and go ahead and pre-drill and screw in tightly. Now the male connector of this hardware is very easy to use. It can be face mounted right to the end of your tenon. All I did was simply make a mark of the bottom line where it could not go past, and then I marked a center line. That allowed me to line up the hardware perfectly in the right spot, put it right in the center of the tenon, and be able to pre-drill and screw in as needed. You could always do one screw at a time and have that ability to slightly adjust it if need be. And now we can do a quick test fit. Just like putting bed rails on a bed, simply slides into place and then nudges it down into position. Having that one connector routed into the base is what gives you that ability to hide this hardware and have it completely seamless and make it look like it is a traditional mortise and tenon apron. Now, if you've done all your math correctly and everything looks good, this should be a very easy, quick way to make a false mortise and tenon on a table like this. Now, to save yourself a lot of headache later on down the road, right before you go to stain or paint these, you want to tape them off to make sure that they are protected from any type of finish. Trust me, tape is a whole lot easier than trying to dig paint out of these little connectors. That would be a nightmare. So what's cool about this is that this is going to, like normally you'd have that piece going all the way through, but this, all I've got to do is slide it in, and I've got a piece of stuff in there in case I scratch this, but
that's okay.
See that? And so now it looks like it is completely seamless.
Look at that. That's genius, man.
Yeah? So I'm really happy with how this hardware worked for me. If you want to check it out for yourself, there's a link in the description below. You know, this project really opened my eyes to having to think outside of the norm. Normally I wouldn't even think about doing this for a client, but they mentioned that they had really small doors at 32 inches, and I wanted to make sure that I had an ability to get this product into their home in a perfect way. And so this was a cool test for me, and the product worked perfectly. The clients were extremely happy. So all in all, it was a very good outcome. I'm hoping that you have the ability now to look down the road at possible problems that you may come up with. It's cool to have this in my bag of tricks to try to avoid any issues in the future. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, hit like and subscribe. If you didn't like the video, still go ahead and hit like and subscribe, because we'll have another video that you're probably gonna like coming down the road. Or there may be other videos that you might like now. So until next time, I'll check you on the next one.